Hello friends, I welcome all of you. My name is Ashish and I'll be your instructor for this video. Friends, I want to show you how we can make API calls to vManage. That is the lab portion. But before I do so, I want to give you some information which will be really helpful for you to grasp the demonstration of labs. So we are using REST API, which is one of the types of APIs. REST means representational state transfer, which uses the HTTP methods, which I'll be talking about in the upcoming slide. So this API will be used for making API calls to vManage controller. So this is a controller wherein we create everything like policy, device template, feature templates. So whatever components you want to create, you need to do it here. I'm just giving you information. This is one of the controllers. Other controller is vBond, which is an orchestrator, and third one is vSmart, which deals with the overlay routing. But major one is vManage. Everything is done here. So we need to configure the vManage the way we do it using CLI or GUI. But here we will be using scripts, and the output which we will get, it will be in the JSON format. I'll make you understand everything, don't worry at all. And there are 3 ways we can achieve this. And this vManage belongs to Viptela, now owned by Cisco. The first method is using the inbuilt library of vManage. So what Cisco has done is they have supplied the entire library with the vManage itself. The way we access the vManage with the IP address, the same IP needs to be used to access the library, followed by /API docs. It takes around 20 seconds to download because it's very heavy page. It contains all the design part, syntax, methods defined. It's quite easy for us to make API calls. So anybody who is very new to this programming in SD-WAN Viptela, he must try the first method. I'll do this entire section using the first method, and the second one will be done in the second section followed by this one. So here we will be using third-party software or an application, for example Postman. It is one of the most popular applications. It is being used by some 40 million developers worldwide. We need to install this, and the same way we need to make API calls. Very simple. And the third type is using programming language such as Python and curl. Python is very popular. We will be using this one, and the curl is Linux based. So total of 3 methods. I was telling you that it uses the methods of HTTP. So there are 4 methods. First one is get, to get the information from the system. For example, I want to download the configuration of a device named CH5. I'll use this get method. So in case of get and delete, we don't need to specify any payload, because for getting some information we don't need to supply some code, the script. We simply need to tell that we need this information, and the post is just like creating a new thing. I want to create a TLOC list, which is part of policy. I want to create a site list, this and that, feature template, device template. So by supplying a payload which will have all the steps to achieve these things, or as per your requirement, that will happen, but using this post method. And the put is to edit, like if you want to edit a banner feature template, then you can use this method, and you need to define the script which will have the detail about the object which you want to edit or modify. So to be able to modify something, you must specify what you want to modify and where. Delete, the name says to remove the object. So payload is not needed For point number 4, that is delete and get, and for point number 2 and 3 it is needed. So these are the 4 HTTP methods. And the status codes, let's learn about these as well. So once you make a call, and then there will be response. If the response is of one series, that is 100 series you may call it, it means information has been received and understood, and the processing is going on. So it is just an informational response. The second one is a success code. It means request was received and has been completely processed and accepted. This is the main one. So you need to see that code. That will define whatever you've done has actually worked or not. And third one is like redirection. Your site has further redirected somewhere else, and further action is needed to complete that request. And fourth one is your local issues, like the internet is down or client error, you supplied a wrong URL, syntax, or some errors, your errors, because you are the source of the API call. And third one is the error due to server. It could be due to the fact that you supplied a code which was wrong, actually means it had wrong information. Let's say that you wanted to download the configuration of VH1, but in the code you mentioned the wrong name, okay, or the code itself was wrong, or you mentioned the wrong path. Means server has said that it will not be processing, so it means failure. Remember, mainly you'll be dealing with 200 series, 200 code, or 500. Let's move forward. Now the URL of the REST API. So whatever call you make, it will be through the URL. This is the format of the URL. The first one is HTTPS, secured HTTP application layer protocol. You must be aware, uses TCP 443 port number, and followed by double colon / and then the IP address of the vManage. In my case, it will be 192.168.100.203, followed by / data service /. This portion will be static, it will not change, followed by the object or the object path. So it's just like you are having a file which is inside a folder, and a folder is inside some other folder. Means you need to define the path so that API call can be made using proper navigation. Means just understand that it is a path which should have the right directory or subdirectory. And if you are looking for some object, you need to supply that object ID, followed by the / and question mark. This is when you need certain information, like you want to filter some output. Let me give you an example of it. Sometimes we need to get output based on the certain parameters. Let's first understand this example. See this, HTTPS application layer protocol, followed by the IP address. This is the TCP 443 I was talking about. This portion data service is static, it will not change. And then /device. So what this call will do, it will get you the list of all the devices. Okay, it is telling that refer this directory device. Very simple. Let me give one more example. See this, same HTTPS vManage controller IP, security port number, data service is static, it will not change. And then here is a path, that is object path, which I was talking about, folder, subdirectory. And this one is object ID, known as UUID, unique universal identification, the system generated name of an object. Alright, you specify it it will get you the output. So basically what this is doing is it is getting you the model of the device using this ID. Okay, I'll be showing you everything, don't worry at all. And third example is getting an output that is a config of a device which has the system IP or device ID as this one. So this is like defining a parameter. Okay, see this filter. Okay, so these URLs will be auto created in case of inbuilt vmanage library. I'll show that to you. And in case of post and put, we need to define the payload. Payload means the script, the actual content which you want to configure using post method, and content which you want to modify using put method. Let's move ahead. So what are the steps? Very simple. We've understood. We need to decide what we want to achieve. We want to get the output, we want to configure or modify or delete. Then find the API path. Just like where is your object present? I gave you an example wherein the object was based on the UUID. So it was inside of the device, then inside of the models, then you define the unique ID. Okay, so it means you need to make the API path. Okay, don't worry, I'll show you. So I told you that in case of inbuilt method, the path is automatically created the moment you navigate to the right place. As of now, it's a theory. You have no visibility how the lab works. Third one is prepare the HTTP URL, the complete URL you need to prepare, and construct the script or code for the payload. For post and put method, you need to prepare the script, payload, the data actual thing. Then make the API call, just like press the button and check the response. It should be 200 for success, and for failure it will be 500, something like you've done it wrong. Very simple steps. So we are done. It was very easy. Now I'll take you to the lab in the next video. So if you have any question, put that in comment box or in Q&A section. Thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it.